Hi guys, welcome to this 30-minute full body workout. We're going to be starting with a 5-minute warm-up, followed by the 20-minute workout, and then a 5-minute cool down for a total of 30 minutes. A couple things before you get started. You're going to want to have a water bottle nearby, maybe a little sweat towel if it gets a little sweaty. You're going to want a yoga mat or some blankets, some type of padding for your knees. And then you also, please do not wear shoes for this workout. Shoes can decrease your the feedback to your legs. It can decrease your stability, and we want to have this workout be the best possible experience for you. So if you're wearing shoes, please take those off. All right, let's get started.
All right, so we are just going to start with some simple back rolls. So you're going to roll up really one vertebra at a time, coming all the way back, opening up that heart space, and then rolling back down. We're just really going to get the spine warm. You can hang out the arms. You can hang down on the ground as well. Just really loosen up the body, getting it moving slowly and starting to warm everything up. All right, next up we're going to come into some side swings. Now, don't keep your feet planted firmly on the ground. You're going to want to pick the heels up just to help with the knee stability, and just swing your body back and forth to get it a little bit more warmed up. All right, coming into downward dog, we're going to pedal out those feet. We're going to warm up the hamstrings, the calves, as well as this is a good workout for the upper body and the lower back. So just pedal that out. You can also hold it, but I highly encourage for the warm up that you keep your body moving with this. Big open squats. I really want to see you squatting down low and coming up. Be sure that you're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, up and down, really sitting those hips back. Be sure that your knees do not come over the front of your toes, all right? Beautifully done. All right, now we are going to be warming up the wrists. Now, a lot of people forget this when they warm up, but we want to warm up the wrists because we use our hands all the time and we need to stretch out our hands. So we're gonna stretch out our wrists. Be sure you go forward and back. You can also do this on the ground as well. So be sure and give those wrists like a nice little roll. And then we're gonna be transitioning into stretching out the arms and the shoulders. So we're gonna do some big over the head shoulder movements. We're going to put our arm behind us, kind of wiggle them around, getting the shoulder joints moving, and everything warmed up. Same thing goes for the ankles. We really need to warm up the ankles before we get into all these movements, especially you know, if you do any jumping or anything like that. Warming up the ankles is super important. So be sure you roll both ways, and we're going to do 15 seconds on one side and then 15 seconds on the other. All right, coming into calf raises now. We are just going to go up on our toes. You can do this however quickly or slowly that you like. Just be sure that you are contracting the muscles and keeping everything stabilized. Now coming into warming up the hips, we're going to do big hip circles right here. A lot of trauma and tension is stored in the hips, so getting that moving is something that we all need to do, especially as people with sedentary desk jobs. You absolutely need to get your hips moving and release all of that energy. It's a really, really great warm up for your pelvis and lower back, especially if you are a woman, you need to be doing this. And last but not least, we're going into some jumping jacks. Now this is the last 30 seconds before we start the workout, so let's get pumped and ready to roll. Alright, first things first, we are coming into wide and narrow squats. So once again, do not let your knees come over your toes. I really want you to sit deep back into that squat. And if the narrow position is too hard, just stay in the wide position and do one way. The reason that we do both wide and narrow is because you hit different muscle groups when you do them. Alright, we are coming down into commandos. Now basically with this exercise, you're going to be pushing up from your hands and then coming back down to your elbows. Now you want to alternate which arm that you're pushing up on so that you exercise them both evenly. Now keep your back as straight as you possibly can. If it's too difficult to do it from your feet, you can just drop down to your knees. Next up, we've got side-to-side lunges. Now be sure your feet are in a wide enough position that you can go both ways. Now keep your back straight as you go down and set your hips back and then lean down and touch your toes. Now if you can't go this deep, just go with the range of motion that is comfortable and challenging for you. We are going to do arm circles with a bit of a twist. We are raising our legs, and this is going to help activate our abs. So really concentrate on engaging your core as you raise your legs. And you can also switch the direction of your arms halfway through. So at the 30-second mark, switch the direction of your arms. We're going to come down into a lunge position, and then we're going to open up to arms, opening up the heart space as well. Really work on contracting in through the shoulders. Keep that lunge nice and low. If you want to, you can add a little tap with the back knee. Otherwise, just keep that lunge nice and low, and then we are going to be switching positions halfway through. So at the 30-second mark, switch your legs. Alright, coming down onto the mat, we are going to be doing ab lifts. So we're just going to lower and lift the legs. Now, if you need a little bit of extra stability, place your hands right underneath your bum, and this will help so that your lower back feels more stabilized. You do not want to be able to fit your hand underneath your back and the ground. It needs to be completely flat. You should not be able to fit your hand underneath your back. If you can, then place your hands underneath your bum so that your back becomes flat, and really work on engaging your core as you come up to the top. If it's too hard, bend your knees a little bit and just tap with your feet instead of keeping your legs straight.
Like stars, we never end and we burn so bright. Baby, the dawn is getting closer. Come here before it's over. We shine like supernovas. Under the lights, we are transcending. Gravity pulls the rhythm. Like stars, we never end and we burn so bright.
All right, doing a quick little shuffle here, and we are going to come into a push-up position, and we are going to be going from a push-up into arm tap. Now, if you're like me and you struggle to do push-ups or are still getting them back from being postpartum, then drop down onto your knees. The most important thing is that you keep your form correct, all right? So have your arms stacked under your elbows, which are stacked under your shoulders. Everything should be in nice straight lines and come down with good form and being controlled.
Under the lights, we are transcending. Gravity pulls the rhythm. Like stars, we never end and we burn so bright. Baby, the dawn is getting closer. Come here before it's over. We shine like supernovas. Shine like supernovas.
Alright, next up is donkey kick. So we're going to come to a tabletop position, and then we are just going to kick that one leg back. Now really work on contracting the glute that you are kicking up, and we are going to switch our legs at the 30-second mark. Staying in that tabletop position, we are now going to be doing fire hydrant. So you're just going to raise that one leg out just like a dog at a fire hydrant. And at the 30-second mark, once again, we will be switching our legs.
I'm that it. And another in the past. And what I bring, I will never disappoint ya. So come along, baby, you and me can do it all night. All night, all night, I get the feeling about to sitting you calm. I like your kind, I'll make you mine. I get a feeling when you ask if I'm alone. Yeah, I like your kind, I'll make you mine. When you're touching me, you're giving me the goosebumps. Is it too much if I don't ever wanna lose ya? I like the feeling and I know just what to do. Yeah, I like your kind, I'll make you mine.
All right, coming back to a seated position on the mat, we are going to be doing a Russian twist. If you want to add a weight here, you absolutely can, any can or anything that you happen to have. If this is too difficult right here, drop your feet onto the ground, but I do challenge you to push yourself in this workout. We're at the halfway mark. As soon as we finish this exercise, then we'll be repeating everything you have just done, and you will be familiar with all the exercises. So you are at the halfway mark. Excellent job. Keep it up. Keep going. You've got this. Amazing job. All right, we've made it over the halfway mark. Now we are coming back to the wide and narrow squats. Once again, be sure that your knees do not come over the front of your toes.
Jumping deep inside. I love you real as you read me like you read it. Undo my bra, no, you never will forget it. I'm a like, I'm a like, I'm a like, I'm that it. And an under in the path. And what I bring, what will never disappoint you. So come along, baby, you and me can do it all night.
Heading down to the mat for some commando. Once again, if you need, just drop down to your knees to do this. That is completely fine. Be sure that you're alternating which arm you push up on. All right, side to side lunges here. Once again, be sure that you are in a nice wide stance with those toes turned out to keep them in line with your knee. Keep that straight back and hinge in the hips as you're coming down, really sticking that booty out towards the wall. Arm circles with a march time. Once again, switch the direction that you are circling your arms halfway through. Really contract and focus on keeping your core stabilized and contracted as you bring those knees up. Nice and slow with this one. position, bringing those hands back, really contracting through the shoulders. We're going to be switching our legs at the 30-second mark. Ourselves down onto the mat. We're going to be doing some leg raises here. Once again, be sure that you cannot place your hand underneath your lower back, and be sure that there is no space between your lower back and your mat. And if need be, bend those knees to make it just a tiny bit easier until you have it completely mastered. Here we go. This is the last time you will be doing push-ups in this workout. Push-ups with arm taps. Once again, if you're like me, just drop down onto those knees, keeping your form correct and straight. Nice straight lines, keeping your hands stacked underneath your elbows and your shoulders. Heading into donkey kicks. Really contract those glutes. We want nice big dump trucks over here, and you're going to be switching legs at the 30-second mark. Right into fire hydrant. You're really just going to open her right up and switch the legs at the 30-second mark. Be sure that your back is straight and your hands are stacked underneath your elbows and shoulders. right, guys, this is your very last minute in this workout. I was extremely struggling at this point, but you've got it. Keep going. We have just 1 minute left. You absolutely can do this. If you need to, drop your feet onto the ground, but challenge yourself to keep those feet up. You can do this. You've done amazing. You've already worked out for 25 whole minutes, so let's just push for the last couple of minutes here. You've absolutely got this. Seconds left, guys. Keep pushing. You've got this. You absolutely can do it. I'm dying here. Congratulations, you just finished this workout. Now come up to a standing position and we're just going to be doing a nice little cool down. So we're going to start with some quad stretches. Now just grab your foot and pull it right up to your back to stretch out that quad muscle. And at the 30-second mark, we will be switching to the other leg. Coming into a deep squat position. If you can go this low, great. If you can't, absolutely just go to where it feels comfortable. You don't want to be in pain. You just want maybe a slight pull if you are a little bit tight. So this is really going to open up the inner thighs. It's going to open up the lower back. And just sway in this position for about 30 seconds and we'll transition to the next one. All right, coming into a nice little tabletop position, we are just going to take some big deep breaths here. So inhale, look up, exhale, release, and curl into cat pose. And just repeat this for about 30 seconds. Down into pigeon pose, what you're going to do is you're going to bring your right leg up and bend it. Now, if you want a deeper stretch, you're going to bring your foot out to make a 90-degree angle with your leg, but if you are feeling tight, bring it closer to your body. This will release the stretch. So come down forward if you can for a forward fold over this. This is really going to just increase the stretch, and we are going to switch this out to the second leg. Also, a little pro tip here, if you are working or wanting to get your splits, this is a great exercise that you can do to help encourage that and lengthen out those muscles to encourage the flexibility. Walk those feet up into downward dog. Now for this, you can leave it as a static stretch and just keep those feet planted firmly on the ground. It's going to feel much more tight this way, but if you need to, absolutely pedal the feet out to make it feel a little bit more comfortable while still getting a great stretch in. This one's a tiny bit tricky. It's a little bit of a pretzel. So what you're going to do is you're going to cross your right leg over your left leg, and then for an extra stretch, bend your left leg towards the right side of your body and cross your arm to where you're holding it. It's kind of confusing, but this stretch is absolutely amazing for your side and your hip flexors, and we're going to switch this. So as you can see, once again, cross your opposite leg over and then bring that straight leg back if you want a little bit of an extra stretch. Beautiful. And now uncrossing the legs and coming down into a little bit of a forward fold. We're just going to try and reach those toes if we possibly can. If not, just place your hands wherever it is comfortable for you. Once again, you should not be in pain. It should just feel like a tight stretch. And this is really going to release the lower back. It's going to release the calves, the hamstrings. So much is going on in this, and this is your final stretch. So I hope you have enjoyed this workout. Just stay here for a little bit, stay here extra long if you need, and just enjoy.
All right, friends, great job on the workout today. I hope you enjoyed this 30-minute full body workout, and I will see you again next time. Have a good day.